some other livestock like chickens and the likes. You understand? So basically, it's just something that I feel like okay, I can save more for this. Although I have interest in other animal husbandry or everything like chicken and other things, but I feel like rabbitry is still something that is more economical. That even with little thing, you can actually start something. You understand? So that's basically what I feel.
Oh, so for you, starting out as an animal breeder scientist, you chose rabbitry because you felt like the barrier to entry was really lower compared to other livestocks.
Not really. The thing is that I'm actually an animal person. Okay, let's just have we started the life with
Yeah.
the stuff now? Okay,
Yes.
so let me just talk about my journey. Naturally, I'm a very into I'm a passionate animal enthusiast. Like I love anything animals, farm
Okay.
animals majorly. You understand? So, but what sparked my
Okay.
interest in rabbitry was when I gained admission in Funab in my school. You understand?
Okay.
So there was this friend of in my 100 level days. I stayed in a hostel where one guy was drawing rabbit. I've never seen rabbits before. That was my first time of seeing them
Seriously?
live. Exactly.
Okay.
So this feeling of wow, look how this is so cute, and yeah, I was just having this, this this happy stuff in me, like wow, this thing is so cute. Like the way they were just jumping as small as they are. So that was what actually got me intrigued into rabbitry. So I felt like wow, that's a very very good venture. And the thing is that I didn't really plan to start as a business.
Mm. Okay.
I didn't plan to start as a business. My intention was just to, buy them and just, put them in my room. I just want something that I'll see every
Oh,
day,
for
jumping
pets.
around.
For pets.
Exactly,
Yeah.
just for pets. I didn't really plan on, going into the business like, I want to start Barbie business. No, I didn't have that plan. So, but something happened as time goes on. You get these things are very very prolific. They can produce, and I got a male and a female.
Yes.
You understand? Exactly. So as time
Yes.
goes on, after some time, they started producing. They started giving birth, and I feel like
Mm.
this one is just giving birth like this. So out of curiosity, I just went online. I posted the offspring. I feel like okay, and people started demanding. You understand? People started asking me, okay, rabbits, how much is it? That was how the business started, though. It was not like something I initially planned to go into. So as time goes on, I felt like, wow, as in, I just have this, should I say, this mindset of, I was just more drawn to that aspect of livestock. Although I love dogs, I'm actually a dog person. I love dogs, but when it comes to maintenance and everything, dogs are very very expensive. So, but
True.
rabbitry is still something that I I actually just love doing because I just I don't know. I just like the way it's very very economical and how very very easy it is compared to other livestock everything. And I've
Yeah.
I've gotten so many challenges. I've had a lot of challenges like since
We're
2018.
definitely
That
going
was
to
when I
talk
started.
about. We're definitely going to talk about those challenges part because I think
Okay.
like every business, there are the highs and
Okay.
there are the lows. There will
Yeah. Exactly.
definitely be challenges. But just sharing how your story started is just the most interesting thing to just hear. Like, oh, you didn't intend to, focus on rabbitry, even though you were studying animal breeding. But from just having an affinity to have it as a pet, and you then observe to see that, oh, okay, these animals, they are very prolific in nature, they produce a lot, and it's more economical to keep. I was like, okay, let's go about this. Thank you so much for just,
Yeah.
sort of sharing. Uh, so, guys, thank you once again for this joining us today on the conversation. Today we have a an expert on our midst today. He is Chooks Duru. Chooks Duru is an animal breeding specialist with over 6 years of expertise in the rabbitry sector within animal and livestock production. His expertise expands across breeding, nutrition, and sustainable farming management. He's a graduate of animal breeding and genetics. He has seamlessly integrated scientific principles with practical experience to educate and mentor rabbit farmers and agropreneurs and enthusiasts. He's passionate about elevating rabbit farming as a viable and eco-friendly agro-business. Trooks provides strategic guidance on optimizing breeding efficiency, enhancing animal welfare, and leveraging market opportunity. Through his work, he has championed initiatives and ethical farming practices that drive profitability, sustainability, and long term success in the livestock sector. So, guys, welcome with me, Mr. Chooks Duru, today. He's joining us on our conversation on rabbit farming for profit, how to build sustainable, lucrative agro business. And he has already shared how he entered, sort of started out the journey as a rabbitry expert. So my very next question to you at this time, Mr. Chooks, is, many people see rabbit farming as a small scale activity rather than agro business, right? Just think of it like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
like a very small family thing to do. So, in your opinion, what do you think makes rabbit farming a profitable and viable venture?
Okay. Yeah. Like I said before, actually, it all depends on your mindset of going into farming. You understand? Some people have this small, should I say, this small mindset of, whatever they want to do, they just go into it based on the fact that, oh, let me just try out and see. But yeah, that's actually good as a novice. You shouldn't just go into something that you have no knowledge about. But rabbitry is something that I see that it's very, very lucrative in terms of its prolificity, like, and how they give birth. Now, when you want to go into something like this and you want to earn money, you need to have a large number of animals at your disposal.
Yeah.
You understand? Now you can't just as a farmer, you can't just be rearing like maybe 1 to 5 rabbits and you feel like wow, you'll be earning a substantial amount. You understand? That's although that was how I started. You understand? It gave me the experience on how to take care of them. But now along the line, I feel like if you want to actually see this as a lucrative agribusiness, you need to have a substantial number of rabbits that you are rearing. You understand? Now let me use this illustration on their prolificity. Now a rabbit can give you an average of 5 to 15 kids in a litter. 5 to 15 kids in a litter. Now imagine when you have just 10. I'm not trying to give you this number. I'm just trying to, okay, let's just use 10, just 10 matured rabbits that are that are producing for you. So you find out that you are having an average of 50 to 60 number of kids. That is
Yes.
in 2 months. 50 to 60 number of kids in 2 months. This is just for 10. Oh, I've not, this is just for 10. So now, and they sell one at an average of, let me say, 4 to 10,000, depending on your clients. You can even sell one for 20,000 naira. It depends on your client, the person requesting for it. I sell rabbits at the rate of 20K at times to some people for pets, actually. Understand? And sometimes, but the average price you can sell them is just 5,000 naira. So now imagine when you sell one rabbit for 5,000 naira and you have up to like 50. You're making an average of 250,000 naira in 2 months. 250,000 naira in 2 months. That is just for 10. So now imagine when you have up to like 20, 30, or 40. You can see the numbers. So the higher the number, the more lucrative and profitable it is. You understand? So that is just how I see the business. You understand? I see it is a business of numbers, amount of rabbits that are producing. The
Wow.
money is in the production. Is in the production. If you can produce at a certain amount, then the money will come definitely. So that is just it. It's not like it's not lucrative. And again,
Wow.
people see it like since it's not something that everybody does like that, and a lot of people although I'm in a group where we have farmers that sell rabbits. We have a group even on Facebook, on WhatsApp. We have groups everywhere.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So when you have your rabbits, you just post in your groups and you sell them. So it's just a matter of the number of rabbits you have in your farm. And I think it applies to every other agribusiness too. I don't know, but specifically for rabbits, I feel like it's the number of rabbits that determine your profitability in the business.
Wow. Having to have 10 to 15 liter, and that reproduction process happened every 2 months.
Yes, I can say every 2 months. Although it depends
Is
on
that
your
what you're saying?
management
Like
and
the rabbit.
I didn't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, then
Yeah, I can hear
can you
you.
hear me? Okay.
I
Yeah,
can
I
hear
was
you,
saying that.
Troops.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that rabbits can they are very very prolific in terms of profitability and everything. They can produce high number of even. I have one of my clients that what is this? So network. It's network is bad. Like ah, dang. Let me refresh this thing.
So I think the network is a bit glitchy, but just bear with us. He will be back in no time. Wow, it's just so amazing to hear and just see that rabbits are able to produce that much number in one single litter. Like the litter just means like oh what they're able to produce at after their gestation period. And every 2 months. Wow. Hello, Mr. Troops.
Yeah, there was a break in transmission, so I just got this now.
Yeah, we were still
Can you hear
talking
me now?
about the profitability, and I can hear you. And I was asking
Okay.
you that they produce every 2 months. So are you saying like in six times in a year, a rabbit would reproduce?
Yes, average of 6 times in a year. Okay, this is how it works now. Rabbitry they get matured for production at the age of 4 months and above. Four
Okay.
months and above. So once they are 4 months and above, they start producing.
Mhm.
So now it depends on the farmer on how he manages that rabbit. If the rabbit is thriving on good feeding management, good like if the management practice is very good, the rabbit will definitely be producing well. You understand? Now, for me now, I cross my rabbits. Maybe after some rabbits can actually cross after winning. So you just need to give them a space of 1 month. That was why I said every 2 months. But some people, like I have a rabbit here that produce every month. It's not actually it's not a general stuff, but it's just like 2 months. 2 months is the average number. So let me say in 6 months they can give you in 6 times in a year they can produce for you. So let me just use it that way.
Oh my oh my god, six times in a year they can produce for you.
Exactly. So they can produce. So as long as you are giving them good feed, as long as you have good feed, you are giving them good feed, and the environment is okay, there's no issues. They produce for you 6 times in a year. It's just
We're
that
definitely
as they
gonna
grow
talk.
older,
we're- Oh,
can you hear
okay. I'm
me?
listening.
Now,
Yes,
what
I
I want to
am.
say is just as okay, like as they grow older, their prolificity reduce. The older they get, the more the less prolific. So you need to just change them and get in new breeders. That's just it.
Okay, so when you say as they grow older, like how old? Would that be 2 years? Would that be 2 years and 6 months, a year and 8 months? What exactly? What do you mean by as they grow older?
Let me see around. I have a rabbit now in my farm that is over 2 years and is still producing well for me. So I can give them an average of 5 years. You understand? So
Oh
once they get
wow.
to that extent, you actually need to replace them with new stock, new breeding stock. But from four from 4 to 2 or 3 years, they are still very, very prolific.
Oh wow. So from what
Yeah.
you're saying now, what's the average liter per reproduction? Is it between 6 to 10, 10 to 12? What's like the average?
Okay, the average number of kids is 5 liters. So if your rabbit is giving you lesser than that, that means it's not actually good for breeding. Like it's
Mm,
not it's you need something above 5. But the average number of kids the rabbit also give you is from 5 and above. Some rabbits can give you up to 15. You understand? 15 is I think 15 is the highest I've actually recorded. But the average number of kids you expect is just 5.
15 from one. And you said it
Yes,
can be sold from 5,000 to 20,000. Now I see how
exactly.
lucrative this business is. Wow. And it's just interesting. You know, when before we logged on, I said to you that you are the first rabbitry farmer that I am meeting. Like I haven't seen it. You typically hear a lot, just like you mentioned, you typically hear about a lot about poultry, fishery, snarery, mushrooms, but rabbitry, not so much. And now I see the profitability of it. Wow, that's incredible. Just incredible.
Exactly.
Just incredible. So my very next question to you at this time is what are like the key factors that determine the success in rabbitry farming, especially for especially for this prolificity that we talked about?
Okay. Now key factors to determine your success in rabbit farming. Let
Yeah,
me use this instance as a newbie coming into the industry. Now,
yeah.
one of the factors you need to consider is the breed selection. You need
Mm.
to consider the breed selection, like how authentic is that breed. You need to get a breed that has good genetic factors. You understand? And for you to do that, you need to
Mm.
get your rabbits from a reputable farmer.
Wow.
Some people you see them, they just post rabbit, they just the way we have fake items in the market, that's also the way we have fake rabbits here. You understand? So you can see someone that will just post rabbit, I want to sell this, I want to sell
Rabbit?
this one. But rabbits, yes now. There's a rabbit that you get, like you will be pained. Like they won't be active, and you find out that their production performance is so low. You understand? So when getting all these things, you need to put some certain things in place. You need to consider some things. Number one, the breed selection. You need to get a breed that is what very, very prolific. And again, number two, you need to have what you need to know your market niche. Hello,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm with you.
Okay. So no, the second one is that you need to have a niche. In rabbitry, there are a lot of
Mm.
niche. So you need to sit down and what carve out your niche first. Like I'm going into this business now. Which niche do I want to base on? For instance, now me, for example, now I don't I like I said before, I don't do meat rabbits. Can you hear me?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yes, yes, yes.
Hello?
I'm with
Can you
you,
hear me
Mr.
now?
Trooks. Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
okay. So for instance, now someone like me now, I'm not into meat rabbits. I'm just producing breeding stocks. I sell the offspring at the end of 4 5 weeks.
Yeah.
You understand? But someone else can come and say, oh, he wants to go into the meat market. He wants to be selling them as meat. You understand? So for that, you
Mm.
need to have what? You need to have your target market. You need to locate your target market for that. I have my own target market because I deal with breeding and what pets. So that's my target market. I target maybe all these pet stores and every other people, even students that use them for practicals. Those are my target market. So you need to have what you need to. Number one is what your breed selection. You need to have a very good breed. Then number two, you need to know what your niche. You need to have a
Mm.
niche. You understand?
Yeah.
So you not just produce, and at the end of the day, you will be very very confused. You don't know who to sell to. You are just producing. At the end of the day, you'll be running at losses. So that's very very important. You need to have a niche. Now the third one, you need to what know your target market. Know people that okay, who am I targeting? who is going to go for these rabbits? Who am I targeting? Don't just post. Although it's actually good to post, like you never can tell who might be interested, but you need to what? You need to develop that niche where you know that okay, well, this is what I actually based on. You understand? And the next one is that as a starter, you need to be conscious of your location. Your location matters. You understand? Your
Yeah.
location is very, very important. Now, for instance, now I'm doing rabbitry in Abeokuta. I'm doing rabbitry in
Okay.
Abeokuta, and I know that the reason why I'm doing it is because I started since my 100 level, like since 2018. So I've already built my customer base here. You understand?
Yes.
So I
Mm-hmm.
I can't actually just move out of here easily because
Yeah.
I'm looking for one or two things. Uh-huh. This is where my customer base is. So you need to have a very, very good location. Try to get a very, very good location. And social media is also there. You can just post online, you know, majorly where I sell where I make sales is on social media. I post online, I
Mm.
post on various platforms, Facebook, and I get clients from there. So those are the things you actually what you actually need to what
Yeah.
consider. And the last thing I would say is that when you are starting, you need to put a very good biosecurity in place. Very good biosecurity. Most people, one of the reasons why their business fail at a young age is that you see that someone just started rabbit and before you know it, people will just enter. Like you are too lenient. Like you just accept anything. You accept people, you accept rabbit from other farms, a lot of things. And you don't know that these things are animals. Any little thing can happen and they can just die. So you need to have a very, very good
Yeah.
biosecurity in place to ensure the safety of your animals. So I think these are the 4 or 5 basic things I can actually recommend for someone starting to rabbitry for the person to be actually successful in it. Then along the line you can actually know other things.
Wow, that's
Ehen,
really good. I like that.
Least I forgot. Sorry, I also forgot this. Your housing system matters too. Your housing system
Mm-hmm.
and the kind of system you want to go into. We have two breeding system. We have the deep litter
Okay.
system, and we also
Yeah.
have the cage system where you put your rabbit in hutches. So if
Yes.
you are someone that you want to actually have, you want to optimize this business very well. I think you should go for the cage system. Why should you go for the cage system? This will actually help you to get what to keep accurate, good records of your rabbits. But when you are doing it in a deep data system, whereby you just put them in a room and you won't be able to track their records. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
won't actually be able to track their records and everything. So their housing system is actually a very, very good factor. You need to have a very, very good housing system for them. So that's just it.
Oh, wow. So all this that you've mentioned now is towards like the management, like the biosecurity, having the proper housing system. But from your expert view, which would you
Okay,
say is the best housing system?
I didn't hear you.
As an expert, just giving your own opinion, which of the housing system would you say is the best?
Okay, yeah, I said it before. I said the battery system, like the cage system, is actually the best. The cage system, because that's what I've been using. So the cage system will help you to keep accurate record keeping. It to ensure that your farm is very, very clean, like in terms of what do you say, hygiene. Your farm will be very, very clean, and you can actually track their records. You can actually monitor their parents. Like you can actually know the records of each rabbit you are getting from each buck. So the cage
Mm,
system is the best. Is the best.
wow, the cage system. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really good to just hear that the management practice sort of helps with managing how prolific the rabbit will be. And so even in recent times there are a lot of conversations around sustainability for everything that we do right now, right? Sustainability is like
Yeah.
a major can in like in modern agriculture, right? From your own
Yeah.
expert view, how can rabbit farmers ensure that they operate in a way that is uh, eco-friendly while remaining profitable?
Okay. Now, when you're talking about sustainability, this
Yeah.
also has to do with your mindset. You understand?
Okay.
This also has to do with
Yeah.
your mindset. Now, in rabbitry, there's a rule for everything. There's a place where money comes in place.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place where your passion has a role to play in sustaining your
Yeah.
business. You
Yes.
understand? There's a place where learning needs to sustain your business. All this thing
Mm.
I'm talking it out of experience. I don't want to use all this theoretical stuff. The reason why my rabbit has been sustainable since for the past 6 years now is not maybe because I'm the best farmer or out there, or maybe I know some things that other people don't know. No, but because of I'm very, very passionate about this thing. You understand? And I try to, I tried as much as possible to put some certain things in place. You get that will actually help sustain them in terms of health wise and other things. You understand? So
Yes.
when you're talking about sustainability can be divided into several factors. Now, in terms of the health factor, to sustain your rabbit there, you need to have a very, very good housing system. A lot of people they come to me, they feel like this rabbit you sold to me, this one, that one. And I ask them this question, where do you keep like I ask them about their management system. Your management plays a very, very good role in sustaining your farm. Your management is one of the
Mm.
key factor in sustaining what? Your farm. You understand? So when you have a very good management in place, when your management system is top notch, you can actually sustain your farm for a very long time. You can sustain your farm for a very long time. And there will be a time whereby even when your management system are in place, it may not be
Yeah.
enough to sustain that farm. You actually need your passion to sustain that
Yeah.
farm. You understand? Because why I'm saying this thing is because recently I concluded my NYC last year. You understand?
Okay.
And if I tell you that I actually took my rabbits to my NYSC, you might not really believe me
To camp?
because I was having some. Not to camp actually. I took it to my location because I was posted in
Your
Ubumosho.
place of primary assignment. Okay.
Exactly. I took them there. Why? Because I was having some kind of issue here. Then I was a student, and the place I kept them was not actually conducive again. There was some kind of issues coming up. So I don't want a situation whereby I'll be here and someone will be telling me something happens to your rabbit died, this one, you get all those kind of talks. So what I did was I had to move them there. It was very, very stressful. But if I was someone that I was not actually really like, I don't really have this passion for them. I'll be like, oh, just sell everything, Jare. I will still buy another one. You get? So passion has actually played a role there in sustaining my business. Although I spent
Yeah.
money, you understand?
Mm-mm.
So, but the point is that in sustainability, you have several things have its role to play in sustaining your business. You can't just rely on one. So there are times that money, you have to put some things in place with your money. You have to set some certain things in place with your money. And there are times that you need you need your passion to what move your business, to sustain your business for you. If you're someone that you're not
Yeah.
actually passionate about rabbitry, see, I'll advise you you might not really stay for long. If you are just after the money, if you are just for, oh, this rabbit should just give, but let me sell, you might not really stay for long, for a very long time. That's just the truth. So that's just
Mm.
all I can say.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's just interesting to hear that the same principle that applies to like other kinds of business is still applicable here. So there's a place where you need to be able to manage your resources as a business person. There's also that place where you need to go beyond just managing your resources, but
The
also
network
having
is
that.
breaking. I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can't. I can't. Breaking.
Okay, all right. Hear me now?
Okay. I think I can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic. So just interesting to see that application to other businesses is available
Sorry,
here.
it's still breaking. Like it's glitching. I can't. Can you
Okay,
can I refresh? Like
okay, first, you can. Yes, you can. You can log out and log back. That's fine. So there's so here and see that other principles are applicable to any form of business. It's applicable here. It's just so beautiful to see that also applicable here in this. So I have this network challenge issue going on shortly. It's interesting to just hear this. Okay, can you hear me now?
ah, I can't. I don't know what's wrong. Like
Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to put the question on the screen.
okay,
So you just read it and then answer.
you said you have a question on feeding.
Yes, it's on the
Okay,
screen. The question is the screen.
okay. Now, in terms of feeding, my advice is that I make my own feed myself. You understand? So
Wow.
feed costs can be very yeah, feeding can be very challenging. Can be very challenging, especially when you are trying to expand to a certain.
Wow. I think he's having a bit of I think he's having a bit of I think he's having a bit of okay. So please just be patient with us. Guys, be patient with us. He's going to join us back. This questions are enlightening for me. It's just really enlightening for me. Just having to hear that you have so much uh, turnover from rabbitry. So just I was thinking backstage, like, I said to him, I was like, be honest with me. Is rabbitry farming really profitable? And just hear him analyze and just say, you could have a turnover of as high as 250,000 naira in 2 months. That's crazy. And just hear him talk about a huge chunk of change in terms of finance management for farmers is the money they have to spend on feeds, into poultry, into piggery, into snakery. Is a vital aspect of the business. And also here, now turning to also a feed formula. That's a way of minimize cost and development, which is also difficult to see. Thankful people that you are able to minimize your cost. That's just amazing. That's just amazing to hear and just see that as well. I think this is almost at the beginning. It's going to just continue from the point where he's sharing with us on feeding. Hi, Mr. Truth.
Yeah, I got a break in transmission. Sorry.
Oh,
So
that's
you were talking
fine.
about feeding, right?
Yes, feeding. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of feeding, actually, I produce my own feed myself. You understand? So as a farmer, yeah, feed is very, very expensive actually. So if you are not coming, if you are someone that are just coming up in the industry, I would not really advise you to, start formulating your own feed, because it's you need to have some level of capacity before you try to formulate your feed. So my advice is that as time goes on, to minimize costs, you need to learn feed formulation yourself. That's to save
Mm,
costs. You need what? To
yeah.
learn feed formulation. So it will help you to cut a lot of costs. You understand? And this will be
Yeah.
possible if you've grown to a particular level. You can't just say you have like 5 rabbits in your farm, or 2 or 3 rabbits, and you say you want to be formulating feed. It's just, you are just wasting your resources. So when you have something like large amount of rabbits, maybe like 20 and above, or even 10, so you can actually learn feed formulation, because it will actually help you towards cut your costs. So that's just the thing.
Oh, wow. So just remember, they need to consider learning feed formulation. Mm, fantastic. So the next question I have this time is, uh, breeding is a successful rabbitry business. For you, an expert in terms of genetic and breeding, what would you say the best breeding practice to ensure high productivity and quality of the stock?
I really don't. I don't know. The network is kind of breaking, so I'm not really getting. I don't know. Can you type the question so I will just get you? Like, I can't
Okay,
really hear you clearly at all.
all right.
We know the core of a successful agribusiness. What are the best breeding practices to ensure? Okay, okay, okay. The best breeding practices to ensure high productivity and quality stock. Okay, yeah, okay. The best breeding practice I can say, you should actually go into crossbreeding. You understand? You should actually go into crossbreeding. Like, don't actually cross your, like, if you have a rabbit in your farm now and they are producing, you should try to outsource rabbit from people's farm. Always try
Mm,
to outsource your rabbit from people's farm. Don't, and when getting rabbits as a newbie, don't actually get your source from only one farm, because that can actually result to inbreeding. You understand? So try to outsource your rabbits from people's farm. Thereby, you are avoiding what we call inbreeding, because inbreeding is a very, very dangerous practice. Although at some point, because it's what I actually studied. I studied animal breeding and genetics. So there's some practices that you can actually use to also improve your livestock. We call it line breeding. It's a form of inbreeding. But as a beginner, when crossing your rabbits, try to actually outsource your stock from a very, very good farm. You understand? So that the offspring will be very, very what? Okay. You understand? So and again, like I said, the best housing system that will actually encourage that is your cage system, whereby you put your rabbits in different cages so that you'll be able to what? Monitor their track records. So when you cross this rabbit with so and so rabbits, you can actually write them down and feel like, okay, wow, this is rabbit I cross with this. So you actually have what? A very, very good record keeping. You understand? So that's the best breeding practice I can actually advise someone to go into.
wow, that's really, really
Yeah.
good. So in breeding, there's a need for proper record keeping.
Ah, I don't know. Is there a way you can actually refresh this, or I don't know. Can I join? Okay, okay. One of the biggest struggles farmers face is finding reliable markets. What are the best strategies for rabbit farmers to sell their products? Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Market is one of the challenging aspects in this business. I'll be very, very honest with you. Market is very, very, very challenging, because a lot of people, they get frustrated because of the market. They feel like there is no market and like so. But my advice to people is that you should actually do what we call social media optimization. Try to optimize your social media. Social media is a very, very powerful tool to what market your products. Very, very powerful. So social media is one of the first thing that you should actually use to what for marketing. You understand? Your Facebook, your Instagram, your any kind of social media at all. So you can actually use that to what optimize your this thing, your product. You understand? So social media is actually good, and your WhatsApp. And again, you have this word of mouth. Try to sell yourself out there. When you see someone, just tell the person what you are doing. You never know who might actually be interested in your products. So those are the basic ways. That's how I've been selling. I love to use practical examples. That's how I've been selling through social media. You sell to people. You see people demanding from as far as the south, southeast. That's just the power of social media. So social media is a very, very, very important tool to use when doing all this kind of when marketing your products. That's just it. And again, you try to create your own market yourself too. How do you do that? If you are someone that you are into this business now, you can say, okay, since there's no market now, why don't I use something like this? Why don't I convert this thing to what to meat? So you can just have a rabbit, you just kill the rabbit, sell to people. You understand? I've done that before. There was a rabbit, a pastoral rabbit I garnished. I just, set it out as something like more of a barbecue. And people really liked it. They feel like, wow, this tastes nice and all that. So you should just create your markets yourself. I think this will enable you towards to have more demands in the rabbit industry. So that's just it.
So that's like the next question.
Okay. What common mistakes do rabbit farmers make, and how can they avoid them to ensure business growth? Okay. Now the mistake I know that farmers make majorly is that they are too they are so complacent. What do I mean by that? Like they have this mindset of you know they know they feel they can actually do this on their own. So number one thing in this scenario, I feel like if you are going into this business, you need to have a mentor. You need to have what? A mentor. Try to have someone that will guide you. You see, most of people, it's not enough to go online and read theories about a business that you are inexperienced about. Try to have a mentor because the practicals is actually different from theories. You can read everything you saw online, and at the end of the day, when practicing that thing, you find out that you are making mistakes. So the best thing is to what is to have a guide, have a mentor that will guide you into this kind of thing, and try to engage in platforms, try to engage in groups, try to engage in seminars that will actually help to boost your knowledge about such thing that you have. So that's it.
Okay, that's really good. It's good to know that there's also a place for like mentorship and training to stay relevant in the rabbit sector or business.
I didn't hear you.
Okay, so I have another question. Um,
How can rabbit farmers position their business to attract partnership funding or investment opportunities? Okay, now this is also by putting yourself out there. It's also by putting yourself out there. For instance, now I'm actually very, very active on LinkedIn. You understand? And for some time now, some people have actually contacted me. Even I think 2 or 3 years ago, someone from as far as America, although the man is a rabbit breeder, he stays in the US. So he was kind of, trying to ask me some questions about, you know, production and the likes. So now to position your business, you need to what? You need to put yourself out there. You need to put yourself out so that people can see your work. Sure, you get. So as people are the way people are seeing, they feel like, okay, wow, this guy is actually doing this thing, and you are creating awareness about your brand, you are creating awareness about your product. So people will want to what partner with you, and you should also what you should also build your product, build your brand to a level, because one thing about business is that business thrives with results. You get, if you're into any business and you are not showing results, you are not showing that results that will attract people to your business, people will just be seeing it as, oh, this guy is doing this thing and he has not actually have any tangible results. So why should we go for him? So try to have results, show results. Is one thing to be doing a business, and it's another thing to be showing results in that business. So show your results out there, and people will actually believe in you that okay, you have something tangible and good to offer. So that's just it.
Really good.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So my next mm, next question is, beyond meat production, are there other streams of revenue for rabbitry?
Okay. Yeah, the other revenue streams, you can sell them as pets. You can sell them as pets. You can sell their fur, but this aspect is very, very, very scarce because you selling as a fur, you need a specific kind of breed, number one. Especially that's the Angora breed. You need a specific kind of breed to sell as fur. And you can also go into, you can also go into manure and fertilizer, production. You can also actually use them as what? Breeding stock. You understand? You can use them as breeding stock. Maybe you actually like what I do actually is I sell breeding stocks. I don't do other things. So you can actually sell as breeding stocks, whereby you sell to project students and you sell to other people. So those are the other things you can actually diversify. There are a lot of things you can diversify into rabbitry, apart from the meat. But meat actually, I think meat is actually the most common one people are into because they find out that they can actually see off takers. You can see people that will actually go for them. But for someone like me now, I don't go into meat production because I feel like it takes time before you can actually sell one rabbit. So I feel like let me just go into selling of breeding stocks and the likes. So apart from meat, you can sell them as breeding stocks, you can sell them as pets and all that.
Hmm. Wow, that's really good. So this is the next
Yeah.
question. How can technology and innovation improve your efficiency and profitability?
Okay. Now technology and innovation. Okay, for instance, now let's use the housing system as a case study. Now, in rabbitry we have different kind of housing system. We have the cage, normal cage rabbit system, the wooden cage system, whereby you just have your rabbitry in cages and the likes. But currently now there are some other kind of caging system that has improved. Before we use what we call concrete feeder and drinker. You understand? But right now we don't really need all those things again since we have this galvanized kind of cage. We have a galvanized system of cage whereby you just everything is automated. We have a nipple drinker and we have the aluminium feeder. So these have actually helped to reduce the stress in taking care of your animals instead of you going to your farm and feeding some rabbit. Even in some countries like China now, they have some kind of automated cage system. You don't even have to be the person feeding them. You have it's automated. That is how they do it. I think I watched a clip that was last week. It's more like an automation system whereby it's a machine automatically fills in those feeders and the drinker is already filled with water. So you really don't need to stress yourself at all. Everything is what automated. You understand? Unlike before, whereby we use concrete feeder, whereby you have to put your water and your feeder in by yourself. So that one is more stressful. You
Wow,
understand? And so
that's
technology has
really
actually
good.
helped us a lot in improving the system. So
Wow, that's good. It's
can you
good
hear
to
me?
just hear that. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, it's good to
Yeah.
just hear and see that
So
there are lots of changes that have happened so far in terms of technology.
yeah, yeah. So and another thing is that most of all these things it requires money. It requires money. So as time goes on, you and again technology will help to improve it will help you to improve, but it will help you to improve your the kind of, I don't, should I say, your, like, in terms of, environmental wise and eco-friendly system, it helps you to reduce the stress. Whereby you see a place that's very, very dirty, right? Your rabbit will be thriving because your hygiene is actually very, very, very good. She get why in some places, when you, some local farmers, they find out that they always have to sweep. They always have to sweep their kids and everything. But when you incorporate technology and innovation into all these things, they find out that everything is what is being useful. Even the physics and the urine are in such a way, they have been channeled in such a way that they are collected and they are used for what, for crop production and other valuable things. So that's just the thing.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. So my very last question to you today is, for someone listening to us that wants to start rabbitry farming, what are the three actionable steps they should take?
Okay. Now, for someone trying to go into rabbit farming, now, number one, you need to make your research. You need to make your research first. That's a very, very important factor. Try to sit down, go online, make your research first about this business. You get, know if it's something that, even in times of challenges, will you be able to cope? People, you see some people, they just put a lot of content out there, get rabbits, you are making so and so money, but they will not tell you the challenges involved. They will not tell you that along the line you will face a lot. So you need to sit down and think, is this what I actually want to do? You get, so make your research first before trying to venture into this thing. Then secondly, have a visibility plan. Have a visibility plan. Your feasibility plan might comprise of, okay, oh, how much money do I have now? You get, your money will determine the scale, the scale, your scale of production. So how much money do I have now, and what what kind of rabbits do I want to do? So make your feasibility plan. That's number two. Then the third one is that you should have a mentor. Try to have a mentor that will actually what, guide you through this thing. You understand? Because it's one thing for you to be reading and consuming theoretical materials, and it's another thing for you to what, go into that practical, or have someone that already have the experience. Because when you have someone that has the experience, the person will guide you. There are some mistakes that you will not make. So just having a mentor is what is very, very important. So I think these are the three basic things I can advise someone that wants to go into arbitrary to what, to take first.
Mm. So you talked about challenges. What were like, can you share like common challenges you encountered and how you overcame them?
Okay, yeah, challenges were much. The thing is, number one, rabbitry. Number one, I had this market challenge, like, selling my rabbits, and the market is so congested. When you're in groups, when if you are in groups, you see a lot of people posting rabbits. So some people, they find it difficult to sell. Some people, they find it difficult to sell. So that's a challenge. Number one. Now, number two, another challenge is that these rabbits, sometimes what you are expecting might not actually be what you get. Someone getting rabbits from you now, someone that intends to buy rabbits from me now, we want to get higher number of females to males, and sometimes your rabbits can give you higher number of males to females. So that's a challenge on its own. You now be thinking of, okay, how can I sell these rabbits, because you have higher numbers of males to females, because nobody most people might not want to get more males to females. So that's another challenge I normally face. You get, and again, another challenge is challenge of getting rabbits from people. This one has to do with more of you being an affiliate, like you want to sell rabbits for people. That's another challenge, because sometimes when you don't have stocks, you might want to get from another person, and the person's stocks might not be reliable. The person might have unreliable stocks, at which at the end of the day, when you sell them to your clients will start complaining that these rabbits have died, and it's already tarnishing your own brand. So that one again is another challenge people face in rabbitry. These are the major challenges I say that people face. Marketing, number one, the quality of the rabbits they buy from people is number two, and again, sex ratio in a litter.
Wow.
So these are the basic challenges people face in rabbitry. So navigating all these challenges is not actually easy, but with time, you always try to find a way around that, and you find out that at the end of the day, you still sell them. But it's something that it's something that will actually make you feel troubled at first, but you can still overcome them.
Okay. So you also sort of talked about, being part of mentorship and community in terms of helping
Okay.
upcoming rabbitry farmers. Can you sort of expatiate on the benefits that anybody listening on this call today would sort of gain if they become a member of maybe like a rabbitry farmers community? Like, what's the role of mentorship and how it will help them? So, for anybody listening can learn and then decide to be part of that.
Okay. Now, the role of mentorship that I play is that I help farmers, you know, beginners actually, people that actually want to start or go into rabbitry. I will kind of guide you into the basic things that you need to know as an upcoming rabbit farmer. You understand? And I also have a book I actually wrote down that I have a book, an ebook that I have. Like I wrote it basically for beginners, people that are just starting out. There are a lot of mistakes that I know that, and frequently asked questions that people normally ask me. Okay, oh, my rabbit is that. So I just have to put everything down into these books. So I give them out to my community. That was around last year. I sold them out to my community last year. So now number first thing is just guidance. You get there's some mistakes I made when I was starting out that if I had actually had a mentor, I wouldn't have made such mistakes. It's very, very common. There's some mistakes that you should be avoided. You get so in terms of leave aspects, like okay, what leaves will I give my rabbits? All this organic medication. Some people just they see rabbit as a get rich quick system, and which is not so. You see someone that just buy, like they just feed it anyhow, they don't take proper care of it. So these are things that mentorship will actually teach you on how to manage. You get mentorship will actually, they will actually guide you, they will actually tell you that okay, oh, these are the things that you need to put in place, and before you know it, you're already doing well in the industry. And again, people, they also have this challenge of markets. They say they'll be like, if I start this thing now, how will I sell? How will I sell? Now I feel like okay, oh, just make a step to start first. We that are already into this business, we know how to get the market. You understand? We know different platforms on which we can, pitch these rabbits to, and people will actually buy them. You get, and again, in turn, we also add you to these platforms. It's a general platforms where you learn about all this rabbitry. There are a lot of experts in this platform too. You get, so if you're someone that you are willing to start up this venture, you want to start up the rabbitry, fine. We are going to put you through into all these different platforms whereby you can gain more knowledge and insight on the rudiments of rabbit breeding, so that you not make much mistakes when producing or into the business.
Fantastic. So for anybody that is listening on this call or that will watch the replay, that wants to connect with you on that level for like your mentorship, or how can they access the book? How can they be part of your community to just learn further? Just share so that anybody that is interested in that can also take advantage of that. How can they get your book? How can they get into your community for mentorship? So just share on the call.
Okay. I'm actually on various social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Like I have a page, CJ Farms Enterprise. That's my brand name. So once you type my brand name on social media, you will definitely see my details and get from my on my LinkedIn. I have my WhatsApp number on my page there, so you can actually get contact me through my WhatsApp line or via my social media handles. So in case you are interested, you can just send me a DM via my social media handles, and we can link up on this. And if you're actually interested, I have a group. Although I'm not having a training right now, but I'm planning on having a training soon on you know educating farmers on how to start up a rabbitry regularly. But even if you get my once you get my book, those things are actually in my book. So you don't really something that you actually need to pay for any training. Just get the book. I listed all those things in my book. So you can start well by just getting a copy of my ebook. So if you want to reach out to me on how to get all those things, just check me out on my social media. You can search me on Facebook, Chuksdu. That's my Facebook name. And my Facebook page, CJ Farms Enterprise. That's my Facebook page. So, and my WhatsApp number is 09012282480. It's on my page. My number is on my page. So you actually see all the details there. So that's just how I think you can contact me on the stores.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Truxduro, for sharing your expertise with us on the call and just helping us, get to see that rabbitry farming is a very profitable and lucrative agribusiness. It's just been a delight having this conversation with you today and just learning a lot more about rabbitry from you today. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank, thank you so much. I'm honored to have you here too.